All right. Welcome everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending where you are. This is Cesar Trabanco from the Global Chamber. And today we are having our it is a recurring conversation that we normally have with our members in the UK, Laura and Barry Atch. And so they're going to be covering about leadership, health, and wellness. Discover the seven type of rest you actually need. So this is interesting. Last time they spoke, I wasn't behind the scenes, but I was listening and I was thinking a lot about myself. Because that's really one of the challenges I have is how to really good rest. Because it's actually good rest because you can rest, you can plan your night and plan your day, but then in my case there are a lot of factors that I don't have control. So I look forward to learning more from Laura and Barry, and so thank you again. The floor is all yours, and we look forward to the conversation, the breakout rooms, and anything else in between.
Awesome.
Lovely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Cesar, for that lovely introduction. As usual, it's wonderful to be here today. And today, as Cesar said, we're going to be looking at the seven types of rest, which is really interesting. It's a new it's a new concept, and so we're gonna delve into that. Let me share my screen. Um, or cancel. Bear me 2 seconds. I thought I had it up. Zoom. There we go. Share and present. There we go. Just check in. If you can give us a thumbs up to let us know that you can see the screen. Excellent. Fantastic. So, welcome to today's session. You are not tired, you are just under rested, not under a rest like what Barry and I used to do. So, this is all about the seven types of rest you really need, and this is exclusively for the Global Chamber. So, you are all, in with an absolute exclusive here, okay? And today, what we're going to do is we're actually going to start delving into the fact that a lot of us seem to think we're tired when in actual fact we're not. We're under rested. And this is going to be the whole theme of this. But for those of you who don't know us and who haven't seen us before, we thought we would do a little bit of an intro. So, Baz, do you want to go
I'll
first?
go first.
Just briefly tell them who we are and what we do.
So, as Loz intruded so far, my name's Barry. Everyone calls me Baz. My background is I've got over 30 years of experience in the health and wellness industry. Started off at leisure parks and then I become a prison officer. 3 years into being a prison officer, looking after the welfare of the prisoners, I still had that burning desire to do health and wellness. So I specialised as a PTI within the prison service and I headed up the wellbeing department there, looking after all the offenders' well-being within the gymnasium side of it, and I was bringing them qualifications from personal trainers to sports therapists to fitness coaches, and I handed my notice in, and we set up our own business, Rock Solid, and now we've been going for 13 years now, I believe it's 12 years. And we are bringing subjects like this to amazing people like you.
Absolutely. So, myself, former police officer and counter-terrorism intelligence officer, turned burnout and stress management coach. Barry and I, we run our business Rock Solid Health together, and we have been running it for 12 years. As he said, we are authors of the Energy Reset book and also hosts of the Stress Less, Live More podcast. Our company, Rock Solid Health, works globally all over the world with business owners and professionals and even corporate companies who are struggling with burnout, stress levels, and wanting to integrate more healthier lifestyles. So that is a little bit about us. That's the boring bit. So our first question is then,
Tired are you really?
yes.
So you get 8 hours of sleep a night. So why are you still feeling exhausted?
Let me ask you this. Who here today, and pop it in the chat if you will, feels fully rested? Do you feel fully rested? Give us a yes or a no. Do you feel?
Today I do.
Says I do. That's awesome. Anybody else? We've got more people on this call. Let's hear from you today. Let's have a look. 80. Doug says 80%. I love it. Anybody else? We'd love to hear. Don't sit and be
Nope.
passive here. We're going to get involved. Eduardo says no. Thank you for being honest.
Love it.
I love that. Do you feel fully rested today?
I'm with Doug today. I'm about
Yeah.
80%.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And also my next question is, when you do feel tired, because we all do, right? What's your go-to fix? Is it more sleep? Is it coffee?
More caffeine, I'd say.
Yeah, more caffeine, more sugar, just pushing through. I'll be fine. I just need to push through. What is your fix? Let us know what it is for you. Because I know a lot of people will procrastinate and scroll.
Oh, that's my big one.
Yeah, they will drink coffee.
Sleep, quick naps.
Yeah, quick naps. Some people will. Yeah, Stephen, thank you so much. Push through. Yeah, we might have a donut, or a chocolate bar.
Coffee and ginseng.
Ginseng. I love it. Coffee and ginseng. I was like ginseng. No, I couldn't quite get it out then. And this is all really interesting stuff, right? Because today it isn't about talking about sleep deprivation, right? It's talking about something a little bit deeper. Oh, Doug, singing.
I love that.
Well, you've just opened up yourself for something now, Doug. I mean, come on. We need, we might need to hear some singing.
The next one, isn't it? Sing along with Doug.
Yeah, exactly. Nap and coffee as well. Because we're not here to tell you that you need to sleep more. And that seems very paradoxical. We're here to help you recharge in a way that actually works for you, right? Because we often hear from a lot of founders and professionals that say, I'm so tired, but I just don't know why. Or they'll just put it down to, I need to get a little bit more sleep. And I think sometimes we can be, and I don't like to use this term too much because it can be quite AI. But I think sometimes we can wear tiredness as a badge and really and we put our level of success or how well we've done in a week as to how knackered or how tired we are at a weekend or how tired
Do you think
we
it's like
are.
a badge of honour? I've done loads of work, so
Yeah, and I don't usually like to use that term, but sometimes we do. We use that as, being quite proud. So let me just, okay, this looks very weird, right? But this is Baz digging holes. And I know Baz loves to dig a hole, right? He's in the garden.
I think I was a spaniel in a previous
Most
life.
definitely. But when Baz feels tired, he actually doesn't go and have a nap. He does this.
Yep. I get outside and I do something that doesn't take any mind power. I switch off and I'm doing something physical, which is very weird, you might be saying, because we think rest, we need to be sat on the sofa, sat on the couch, watching TV or being asleep or doing something that doesn't make us move. But that doesn't work for me because there's a certain type of rest that I need, and this is it.
Absolutely. And later on, this will all make sense when we start talking about the 7 types of rest. Yeah. So Cesar says, yeah, it makes sense. And it's generally, I won't go into too much because I don't want to give too much away. So here, you are not just under recovered for the sake of it. It's about the wrong kind of recovery for you. That's what this is about, right? Netflix isn't going to restore your creativity. Sleep won't mend any emotional overwhelm, right? You might just be resting the wrong part of yourself. And that's why you're constantly tired because you're thinking you just need sleep, when in actual fact, it can be something else.
So let's look at it. Does sleep equal rest? And we've got some stats here. So 57% of adults believe they'd feel better if they get more sleep. But does sleep actually complete our restoration within ourselves? Some may say yes, but Dr. Sandra Dalton-Smith disagrees, and we go along with what she's saying because it makes so much sense when we start looking at these 7 types of rest.
Yes, because sleep and rest are not the same thing.
So who is Sandra Dalton-Smith?
Absolutely. So Sandra Dalton-Smith is the lady that actually came up with these 7 types of rest. If you haven't seen her TED talk, you must go
Very
see it. It's brilliant. She is a board certified internal medicine physician with 20 years clinical experience. She is the author of Sacred Rest. She's the founder of Restorative, I can never say that one. And she has been featured in Psychology Today. She's done a TED talk, Fast Company, and so many more. She's absolutely fantastic. And she says we go through life thinking we've rested because we haven't got enough sleep. But in reality, we're missing out on the other types of rest we definitely need. And I don't know about any of you. Is everybody on LinkedIn here? Give us a thumbs up or a yes or a no in the comments box. Let us know if you're on LinkedIn. Yeah, I mean, Eduardo, I don't know about you, and yeah, Mohammed, there's a lot in the chats at the moment for business owners and corporates and that talking about rest. We must rest. Rest is not a reward, and there's this whole big thing around it. And quite often, that can kind of start to be a bit of a buzzword. But what we want to do today is actually really put some gumption behind that term rest for you so that we can actually start to say, hang on a second, this is a thing and this is a strategy and a tool that we can use to be better in our business, more focused, happy, energized.
More importantly, it's about understanding what rest is. It's not just about shutting down and doing nothing. As I spoke about before, that's kind of rest for me, sitting on the sofa or the couch doing nothing.
Recording in progress.
Mutes. Oh,
There we go. There we go. Where have you gone, Baz? You've gone back quite a bit.
Way. So we need
This is why Baz is not allowed to touch the PowerPoint,
I
because
can't
he
touch
ends
it.
up like going the other way.
So let's have a little look-see at the 7 types of rest. So we've got physical rest, we've got mental rest, we've got sensory rest, creative rest, emotional rest, social rest, and spiritual rest. And what we're going to do later on in this presentation, we're going to start breaking down these rest, these 7 types of rest, so we can get a little bit more detail about what they are, how they affect us, and who they affect the majority of people.
Yes, because for each one of these, we're going to tell you what it actually is, how to know you're missing it, and who it is common in. And once you start to actually put these into your life based on the activities and the tasks that you're doing every day, it is going to be a game changer for you. You're going to think, oh, why did I not do this in the first place? Just don't worry about it, Coco. It's all good. Just like we've talked about with burnout before, and we've talked about mental, physical, and emotional. So many people will go into burnout and they'll start doing meditation and journaling and that sort of stuff, which is great, but it might not necessarily be the strategy that you need for the dimension of burnout that you are most struggling with. So this is the same thing. So we're going to have a bit of a breakout. Says, I don't know if we can do 7 minutes. I think that would be quite nice, wouldn't it? Nice sort of time. We're going to do 7 types of rest. We're going to look at them in much deeper detail, how to know you're missing it, and who they are most common in. So yes, Cesar, if you'd be able to work your Zoom magic,
A little bit of network.
Very much appreciate it.
How many people more or less?
Let's have a look. How many people do we have on, my lovely? 13.
So,
Yeah, 13.
10. But
1,
how many?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 3 in a room? 3 rooms? Zoom?
Okay,
Yeah.
let's do that.
Wicked.
I'm gonna create that now. See.
No worries. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you.
All right. So rooms are gonna be opening now. You just need to accept everyone and get into a room.
Thank you. See you in 7 minutes.
Hi, Sajali. I moved you to one of the rooms. I don't know if you can join
I
now.
got it, but since I just joined, I don't have context to speak there, but I can listen to. I can join.
Yeah, it's just about the rest, how you rest in your day and
Okay.
the energy. Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back. Everybody's come back, have they? Nobody's been like, oh, this, you know. I love it. I love it.
Space.
Right, let's get into this next bit then, because this is the juicy bit that everybody wants to know.
You fast forwarded.
I fast forwarded absolutely loads. Righty ho, do you want to do one for one
Let's
then,
do
Baz?
one for one. So let's start with physical rest. This is one that most people sort of understand. So we're going to start with what is it, and this is when we feel like we need to sleep, nap, stretch out a little bit, maybe have a massage, maybe do some gentle movements, some like recovery movements. These are really good things that are going to really help with our physical rest. So how do we know that we're missing it? You feel physically drained even after a full night's sleep. So you've had your 8 hours sleep, but you still feel that you're just drained of this energy. Your body is aching all the time. You might get aches and pains in your joints, and your joints feel stiff. Muscles feel stiff and sore. And this is really common in business owners who sit all day, even fitness professionals that are overtraining, and
Mhm.
people who ignore body fatigue. So if you're ignoring your body, I'll just push through. I'll just get to the weekend, just get to the end of the month, just get to the end of the quarter, just get to the end of the year. It'll be Christmas soon. We need to take notice of this.
And you know what? This is the very typical one that we often think about. Oh, I need to have a nap. I need to have a rest. I need to do some stretching. This is quite often the one that people will go for. And yes, there is something in there. This is when our body needs recovering. But the next one is something called mental rest. And this is when our brain needs recovery. And this is very much about taking breaks from any kind of deep focus. This could be meditation, it could be journaling, or it could be screen free time. How many of us, give us a yes or a no in the comments box, how many of us are constantly in front of screens all day long? I swap from laptop to iPad to phone, constantly all the time. Yeah, Eduardo said, who we got? Yeah, Cesar says yeah, Coco says yeah, yeah. Everybody says yeah, 100%. And we often don't think that we need that break. So for mental rest, you might need this when your mind is racing, when you need, mind is racing when you're trying to sleep, or you're forgetting things, you're feeling completely scatterbrained, right? And this is really great for entrepreneurs or professionals who are always on. It's for people who have high level decision making. It's for people who are juggling and multitasking all the time. Because if you think about it, if you're in this place and you just say, I'm just going to stretch, but then you might be watching a video while you're being taught how to stretch, right? Or you might be, thinking, oh, I'll just lay in bed and watch some TV. We need to switch this off. This thing between your ears, the 6 inches there, right? We need to be able to switch that off. And that's what mental rest is. This is very much about this one.
And this, sorry,
The next one for me
Yeah.
is
this
so,
leads
yeah.
nicely on to the third one. This is sensory rest. And I think a lot of us nowadays, we're not getting the sensory rest because we are so switched on to every single thing. So, what type of things do we need to do to get this sensory rest? And the biggest thing is reduce screen time.
Yeah.
Get rid of the stimulus. Spend time in a quiet place. Disconnect from that constant noise, because literally we are being bombarded all the time. So how do we know if we're
Can I just talk about this one very quickly?
I knew you would.
I often find this one, I often find this one so relevant to so many people nowadays. How many of us are on back-to-back Zoom calls? How many of us are networking in person? How many of us, if you work in an office, are interacting with people all the time, right? So, you know, this is very much, as Barry's going to go on to, about crowded spaces. And this is something that, you know, I was working with one of my clients on just recently. You know, she's busy working in the pharmaceutical industry. She's always got lots of crowded spaces, bright lights, you know, office, what they call office lighting, that sort of stuff. It's it's an attack on our senses. Like it really is. And sometimes it just feels like that big overload there, doesn't it? And so we have programmed in sensory rest time for her, haven't we?
Yep, and that's
You
exactly
can
what
carry on now.
that's exactly what I was gonna say. So how do we know we're missing it? You feel overwhelmed with the bright lights. You feel like those bright lights are attacking you. The loud noises don't get any quieter, or those crowded spaces are really getting on your nerves. You get irritated really quickly by anything, even if it's like a little background noise, you get irritated by it. And this is people who are working in front of screens all day long, parents with young kids, and anyone in noisy environments. It's getting a big one, this one, but we don't really realize that we need to take time away from these sensory overload situations to get some rest period.
Let me ask you this. When was the last time you maybe sat in a quiet space, not meditating or feeling you have to do something, without your phone, without your laptop, just sat in a quiet space? I know for me, when we come back from London and it's really busy, the best thing I love to do is go and sit in our garden on our bench with nothing, no noise. I'm not meditating, I'm not doing anything, you know, that we feel we've got to tick list off of our well-being sheet. And it's like, how often do we actually do that?
I heard someone the other day tell us that if you sit for 3 days with no stimulus, especially the sensory stimulus, gets rid of nearly all ailments. But we can't even go to the toilet without taking our phone there now. We can't even sit on the sofa without keep picking up our phone every 30 seconds, because we are getting addicted to this stimulus, this sensory thing that we need to keep picking up just in case we miss out on something. But we're not going to miss out on anything. So that'll be my challenge for everybody this week, is see if you can do a little bit of time away from all the stimulus.
Yeah, we do have a lot, don't we?
So we can get used to it.
Next one up is creative rest. So this is for business owners or professionals in creative industries. Maybe you're a problem solver, right? Maybe this is for anybody that feels creatively drained. I know personally, being a business owner, I have so many things to feel that I've got to be creative in, with social media, with video content, and sometimes it can really be, you know, pressured. I know we worked with a lot of creatives before, and you know, they'll feel stuck, they'll feel uninspired, or they'll just feel like everything is repetitive, and they'll be struggling to come up with new ideas and solutions. And again, you might be led to think, I just need a weekend off, or I'll just, you know, have some sleep. But we're still waking up with this, you know, creativity block. So for this one, it is about spending time in nature, but also, this is my favorite bit, engaging with art, but allowing the mind to wander without any kind of structure, right? And so for somebody who's very creative, if you let them unleash this one, right, this can be so powerful. And it is, maybe just get a canvas, or you get a notepad and pen and you just start jotting or scribbling down. I remember the days where, you know, you would be on hold to a company, And instead of scrolling through your phone, you draw little doodles on
Doodle
your page, you know, like a doodle pad, you know, and you do that and you color bits in and create different shapes while you were waiting. And that's the kind of stuff that we're talking about here. And so a creative haiku as a kind of creative mind dump before I go to bed. I love that. Yeah, so it's like just getting it, getting it off all out there. But yeah, we find that that's a really great thing as well.
And the next one down is emotional rest. And this is predominantly for coaches, therapists, caregivers, leaders that support their team, but neglect themselves. And you tend to get emotionally exhausted from that supporting others. And you suppress your feelings and you don't process them, because we need to learn to process our emotions. And the way we deal with this is expressing our emotions. Most importantly, we need to set our boundaries, take breaks, and manage our breaks. If we are taking our breaks, make sure we are getting adequate rest time and holding it together, as Lost says on here. And it's a big one. We are human beings. Human beings have emotions, and emotions serve a purpose, but it's about how do we manage those emotions and process them so they are not holding on to us and festering inside.
We've put caregivers here as well, because so many of us might have children that are unwell, parents that are unwell, husbands or wives or partners that are unwell. That means you're a caregiver. It means you're giving everything to somebody else as well. So it's really important, as Barry says, you're not suppressing feelings, because there's a difference between pretending and processing. When we pretend, we're like, yeah, I'm fine, there's no problems, and we need to process them. So as Barry said, being able to express your emotions freely is a really great one.
And it's an art. It's something that we have to practice to express our emotions.
Next up, we've got social rest then. So social rest, this is what you need, very much so, because Barry spends some of his time in the gym training people, and sometimes you can be in there for about 6 hours. And so you're kind of a cross between social and sensory rest, and that's why he goes and digs hole. That's why he goes and digs all the holes in the garden, because it gives him that time. If he was then just to come in and go to sleep, he would not still feel rested. So that's why he then goes and digs his holes. So now it starts to make sense, right?
Each hole does have a purpose. There is a plant that goes.
There is a plant, yeah.
It's not just random holes.
Common in business owners or professionals who are networking, people in high energy social jobs, introverts forcing extroversion. How many of us are really introverted, but when we go to work, we have to be on? That's so draining for a lot of people. So this is about spending time with people who restore your energy. How many of you have these people that you're like, yeah, they're my people, they give me energy, I love being around them? That's the kind of thing we need to do. So if you feel drained after social interactions, if you find yourself avoiding people or isolating, then it could be it's social rest is what you actually need in order to be able to get fully rested.
Yeah. And the last one is spiritual
Just
rest.
got some people coming in. So Coco's sharing a couple of things. Just 17 syllables. Oh, I wonder if that's a method maybe that you've got, Coco, you can share with us in the comments. People that mask the autistic spectrum really need to recover from people at the end of the day. Yes, 100%. I know for me, when I go networking, I definitely need some social rest without a shadow of a doubt. And I also need a little bit of sensory rest as well, because it can be all too bright, and just sleep just doesn't seem to cut it sometimes.
So, as we said, the last one here is our spiritual rest. Let's move them down, please.
Yeah.
Thank you. The spiritual rest. So mostly it's found with high achievers, chasing external success, but feeling that internal emptiness. You're a high achiever, and you got very high standards.
Very high standards,
Yeah.
Barry. You need to meet up to them.
Oh, I know. And it's for people that feel lost, unfulfilled, or like something's missing in their life. And you question, why am I doing this? What is the reason behind what I'm doing? And the way we get around this is feeling of connecting to something bigger than yourself, whether that's going to be your faith, whether it is nature, whether it is communities or personal purpose. A lot of people who want to do this, I think they start up some charities. Me and Loz, we do a lot of charities with Great Ormond Street and local kids charities in our local area. And this is great for our spiritual rest. It really does fill us up when we've had a busy week and we go and do something at the weekend for them. And it's just like, whoa, that was
Yeah.
better than an 8 hours sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, faith and I get out in nature as well. We have our faith, and it's just a great way of actually recovering and restoration here.
Yeah. This one is a big one, and I feel a lot of people are missing this in life. It's that sense of, as you say, giving back and how that fills your cup up, but giving back from a place of not expecting anything in return from it, if that makes sense. Baz and I invested in this kind of rest a couple of years ago. We love what we do, don't get me wrong, but we felt tired, we felt unfulfilled in certain areas. So that's why we bought our superhero outfits, Wonder Woman, Superman, and that's why we go into these organizations, and we go into the children's hospitals and we give back, because when we give back, it fills up our cup. It makes us feel good inside, from the fact of like, wow, we've done something that's bigger than us.
You get given energy back rather than anything financial or material.
Most definitely. They are the 7 types of rest then. Afterwards, we're going to put this in, just share with you guys how to put this into action. Yes, buffering, networking with people, free time, most definitely. go. So in the breakout, obviously time to chat again. Cesar, if we could do 3 for 7 minutes, that'd be great. And maybe you if you're brave enough, talk about 7 types of rest and maybe which one you feel most drawn to that would be good for you. And we'll see you back in 7 minutes, where we do some Q&A and how to put it into process.
All right, have them ready now, and be ready. Make sure you accept the invite.
Enjoy it.
Okay. Let's go then. How do we put this into action? And we'll open up to questions or just feedback if anybody's got anything to share. How do we put this into action then? First of all, we need to identify your primary rest deficit. So is it spiritual rest, social rest, emotional rest, creative, sensory, mental, or physical? What is it for you? Right? Think about, what is my deficit here?
And you might not just be one.
No, it might be
you might have a couple. I have a couple of them.
Yeah.
So don't just try and lock yourself down to one and think that's going to work. You might need 1 or 2, or maybe 3, or even all 7.
Yeah.
Depends how busy you are.
Yeah. And then go in and replenish what's actually missing, but also make rest a strategy, not a reward. Like, oh, once I've, done this, it will be my kind of reward. Don't push through or power through, because I often say it's about quality over quantity. We'll do a lot of quantity work in the day. We do a lot of quantity work in the day. We don't do a lot of quality work. And sometimes, when we take a step back and when we look at, right, what am I coming up against? What am I butting up against at the moment? And then we can say, right, do I need a little bit of sensory rest here? So do I need 5 minutes without any phones? And then we go back into that task and we're so much more efficient at it, and we end up doing quality work, right? So I often think about quantity vs quality work.
But also on the other end of the spectrum is, if we make it a reward, we do it as the last thing we do, and then we're going to need to spend a lot more time within that rest phase to get the benefit from it. But if we make it part of our rest strategy and we incorporate it into our daily routine, those rest strategies that we do, they can get shorter and shorter and shorter. I can go in the garden, spend 5 minutes digging around, pruning around like tomatoes or vegetables in the garden, and that's me done. I feel recuperated. I can get back into my work mode then. But it's making it part of your strategy rather than just waiting until you feel like you need it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you might already be doing some of these things, but the dots have been connected in terms of, ah, that's why I feel better after I've done X, Y, and Z. So now you know I've identified the tool, it's going in my back pocket. So I now know I can call on that tool, right? So, whether you've had a confirmation, an affirmation, a light bulb moment, whatever it is. I know for Doug, we were talking and you kind of started to put, a couple of things together. Start to use it. It's powerful, powerful stuff, right? It really is. What's one small thing you can do this week to give yourself the rest you are in need of? So have you identified that actually, yeah, I need some more sensory rest or I need some spiritual rest? What is that for you? We would love to hear it in the comments box. And we are also going to open up for questions, and anybody had any thoughts, feedback, that kind of stuff. What have we got? Um,
I have a question for you.
yes.
Fire
Hi,
away.
Coco. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, so for example, just now I was thinking, oh God, I feel exhausted. And really, I should have just gone running, but
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
sitting here instead. So how can you, I mean, it's lovely being here, don't get me wrong, but maybe I should have gone running instead. How can I kind of get over that? Do I just say, oh, just shut up, just get out there, get your kit on, get out there and do it? Or is there another trick?
Yeah.
Are you trying to talk yourself into it or trying to talk yourself out of it?
No, I was trying to talk myself into doing sport.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So sometimes, yeah, it is. It's just like, right, let's go and do it. Don't give
Yeah.
yourself a reason
Don't
to not.
overthink it, just do it.
That's it. Because as soon as we start overthinking things, after about 5 seconds, we start giving ourselves reasons not to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mel Robbins talks about the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Do it.
So if you don't
Oh,
know
yeah,
that,
yeah. I've heard about that.
yeah,
Yeah.
And it is very much, often our big, intelligent, stupid brains will get involved and we know intuitively what we need to do. But then our mind kicks in and wants comfort and safety. And it's like, you don't want to be putting, it's going to take ages to put your trainers on and get changed. You don't know, you're going to get hot and sweaty. So sometimes we just need to, listen to our intuition and go, yeah, I'm going to get up and I'm going to go and do it. And sometimes, Coco, what I do, I literally get up and I clap my hands and I go, right. And then that's kind of like my self-starter statement.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Self-starters are statements that you say to yourself when you are lacking a bit of motivation, like din din, do it now. Or I say, right, come on, Loz, let's go. So yeah.
Nice.
We've got a question coming here: how to get out of emotional stress or impulsive behavior. When we're looking at impulsive behavior, we tend to not be conscious about that behavior that we are doing. The first thing we need to do is stop. It's what we call the reactional gap. So it's stop, pause. What is the outcome I want from doing this action? And by stopping and pausing, we start to think and we start to process. We respond rather than reacting, because when we react, all we're doing is reenacting our previous behaviors, previous responses, our patterns of behavior. So we need to stop and just think, what do I want to achieve here? What is the outcome I want? And then we respond to that.
And I think also, Rebia, a really great question. Thank you for asking it. But, when it comes to emotional stress, I think it's because we've tried to hold too much, too long for too many people. And so you really need to give yourself the breathing room and give yourself the grace of speaking to somebody, of actually offloading and burdening some stuff off, because there are people out there that might want to help you and hear. So
Metabolize that emotion.
yeah, sometimes it can be because we've held on for too long. So hopefully that answers your question in this brief amount of time that we've had.
Thank you so much, Laura and Barry. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
You're
more than
more
welcome.
than welcome. Thank you so much for asking it. It's a really great question. Okay, so we are 3 minutes to the hour. Doug, I didn't know if you wanted to wrap up just want to thank everybody for coming and listening and joining in and their energy.
It's so important because at the end of the day, our productivity, our impact, our influence is more than just phone calls and emails and other things that we actually do, but it's all of the restoring time, the care that we take that allows us to be so much more productive, so much more influential and impactful. It can multiply our impact by 1.5, 2 times, 10 times, if we do this properly. And so definitely everybody take the time, even though, we're all busy, we're all just trying to get to some sort of a finish line on every day. And we almost, at least for me, I'll speak for myself, I almost feel like I never get to the finish line, or it's hard to find that finish line. And so the impulse is to cut down on sleep, cut down on rest, cut down on all 7 forms of rest. And that's, in the end, a losing strategy. So let's all be winners. Let's all work together. And you guys are just so amazing. Go dig a hole. I guess that's the
Go dig a hole.
is that the final conclusion that we should have?
That's it. Go and dig a hole. Be a mole.
Get a spade, dig a hole.
And be a mole.
There you go.
Here we are Monday morning here on the East Coast or on the West Coast of the US, and we're just beginning the week. So let's go dig some holes. Thanks, everybody.
No,
Thanks
a
you.
lot.
Thanks.
Have a good
Thanks,
week.
everyone. Thanks,
I
Lauren.
really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Take
You
care.
got-
See you later. Bye. Bye.
You're awesome. Thank you.